Hey everyone, it's Ari Honeyford with the Awkwardly Zen podcast, and I am so excited to bring today's guest in. You guys, this is Jacqueline Freese, and if you have ever been to anything Awkwardly Zen, there's a really good chance that you know Jacqueline, because let me just tell you, there is no one who dedicates more time to Awkwardly Zen than this woman right here. So, Jacqueline, thank you so much for being here today.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Jacqueline, I think what some people in Awkwardly Zen don't know is that you are a practitioner yourself. So, could you share a little bit about the modalities that you've been working on and that you offer?
Okay. Well, I started with Reiki,
Okay.
and with Reiki, then I took some angel Reiki because I have a close relationship with the archangels and with my own guardian angels, of course. From there, I kind of went into the whole energy healing modalities, and I wanted to do as much with the angels as possible. So there's one called Seraphim Blueprint, which I went through all the levels. There's 6 levels, and then there's the advanced healing. So I went through the 6 levels plus advanced healing for Seraphim Blueprint. So I kind of call, well, there's Reiki, there's Angel Reiki, and then there's the Seraphim Blueprint, but I also call Reiki with a twist, kind of Reiki with Seraphim Blueprint. And I kind of put those together. And it's really just a bunch of really strong energies, life force energies that come together to heal and help and just clear
I
people.
love all of that. I think you've done what so many practitioners have been doing lately, which is finding all these different things that really work with us and then kind of creating our own thing, which I've done in my own practice as well. When someone books a session with you, what kind of thing can they expect?
Well, the first thing that we do is I chat with them about what they're there for, what they would like, and then I tell them all the things I have to offer towards wwhatever their idea is, like whatever they're seeking or
Okay.
whatever they need for healing. And we start with like a 15-minute little chat, and then I just go in and say, well, let's give it a try, and we'll see if you feel anything, if you like anything, if it makes you feel comfortable, because personalities need to really fit together as well as the energy of the two people. And if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work, and that's okay.
Yeah, I love that about you, Jacqueline. I'm kind of the same way too in the idea of like if I'm starting to read for someone and we're just not clicking, I'm not going to take your money. And so I think that there's a lot of integrity in that. So I love that you are very open to saying, "Yep, this isn't it." That being said, I bet it rarely happens. Uh I have had a session with you,
Yeah.
and I will say we did it distance because I'm in Denver and Jacqueline's in Canada. And so it really enjoyed the session and felt so wonderful and connected afterwards. So you can really tell the difference with that angel side of things. I really enjoyed it. However, there's something new you've been working on. So do you want to talk a little bit about what you're studying right now?
Well, what I'm studying right now is I've been on a 1 year, just about completed a 1 year program of Akashic Records, diving right into them, how to do Akashic Record readings, but kind of learning the healing part of the Akashic Records and how that can work with everything that we're doing, as well as all of that work has a lot to do with channeling also. So I've been working on my channeling as well as working with the Akashic Records and any non-human energy that's out there, like many, from trees to rivers to oceans to like a fire pit to everything. Like it's wild and it's so exciting.
I love that. And I feel like a big part of that, I started reading Elements, and we also realized that you have this beautiful connection to them. And so it's been so fun because we read them so differently. I mean, they're the same elements, but you feel them in your body, whereas I have a knowing with them. Have you found that that has been very helpful with you as you are exploring this idea of communicating with things that in our
Oh yeah.
logical human brain we can't communicate with?
Exactly. And when you're doing homes and you're doing acreages, like you're doing land and homes, and then you're doing animals or plants or any of that kind of stuff, it's really exciting, but it's so I have to admit, at first I found it difficult. I found it really difficult. It seemed like some people were going ahead. And you know me, when going ahead, I don't like to be kind of left out kind of thing. But so then I kind of realized that there was some resistance, something that was holding me back. And it was doubt. It was lack of trust. And yeah, and then when I finally realized that that's what it was that was holding me back, I started to just talk to all of the elements and all of the entities that were around me, telling, I believe in you. I know who you are. I know what, what you're here to do. So let's just get a relationship. Let's just spend some time together. So that's what I've been doing.
Yeah, and you know what's been so fun with you, Jacqueline, is watching you on your journey. From when I first met you, I'm trying to think, has it been 2 years now that you've been a part of Awkwardly Zen?
Yes, 2 years, just over the 2 year mark that I've been part
Okay.
of it.
And, you know, when you came in, because you are kind of one of those people who naturally doubts a little bit, right? Like you question things
Oh,
and
yeah.
you don't always have the faith in yourself that we wish that you had. But it's been so beautiful to watch you do it anyway, and for you to embrace the weird of this has been so much fun. Like I just am so proud of you.
Well, thank you. And I've always been quirky. So this is just kind of added to it. And I don't even know how I found Awkwardly Zen. I have no idea how I found Awkwardly Zen other than the pandemic was just, I didn't even know the pandemic was coming, but I had already been taking a few classes, like a few classes on communicating with angels and just learning gifts about that are out there, like spiritual gifts. And I was just feeling the waters in and out, that type of direction. And then all of a sudden I just went on hunts through the internet and the web. And I just all of a sudden, I don't know if I put quirky in a subject or if I put, but when awkward came up, I just went, oh, maybe that's just another word for quirky. So then that's where it all began.
I love that. And you know, I was hinting about it earlier, but Jacqueline has stepped into the scheduling role with Awkwardly Zen, which I could make me cry with how much help she gives because currently we're doing over 30 free events every month, and that each one of those events has usually 2 moderators that needs to get scheduled, and Jacqueline is handling all of that for the community right now. So, Jacqueline, as you've stepped in as a volunteer not only to Awkwardly Zen, but to some of our sister organizations as well. What have you found it's like working in the back end of all of these crazy groups? You don't have to be nice. It's okay.
um, I think that it's all of this has helped me to grow, to just become a better person, to be around like-minded people and to be able to just have the closeness that we have as friends also, and to work like when I'm working with yourself and the other organizations that I work with, it's like it's I can't say it's just a sisterhood because it's just all of us together because it's not
Right.
just a sisterhood, but it's just a closeness that we feel. It is a closeness and it's exciting. And I just, as much as certain things kind of get tough and challenging at times, very tough and challenging, it's also very exciting to be part of it.
You guys, that was Jacqueline's very nice way of being like, well, if you'd answer my emails, Ari, then maybe. So, Jacqueline, when you think about the future, and we are headed as a collective, where you are headed as an individual, what is it that comes up that gets you excited? What gets you like ready to move forward with something?
Well, I want to get my spiritual business up and moving. I
Yeah,
want to spend more time with people and helping them to heal, helping them to find the little intricate things that we need to know and the things that have helped me because I was at a loss along the way. And you were one of the ones that were there to kind of pick up my pieces as I was kind of on many ledges, I would say, of many cliffs. And then talk me off a ledge or whatever we want to say. But yeah, I want to get my business going. I also want to be part of this community and growing
yeah.
and just being part of, I don't know, it's just, I'm excited every day for what's happening next.
I love that. You know, it's interesting when you talk about like being on that ledge. You know, there are many people who were there for me when I was on that ledge, when I didn't know what I was doing and what I needed to. and so much gratitude to my mentors along the way. And to be able to step forward and then help someone else do that. And I know you've been helping some other folks do that within Awkwardly Zen who are not quite sure how to move forward. And what's so beautiful about a community aspect to me is this idea that it's like we're all kind of pulling each other along, right? Like everybody's like, "Oh, okay, hold on, I can step in here. No, I'll step in here." And it becomes this beautiful like, let's just keep this going. Let's keep bringing the light and the love and do what we can to shift the energy in this very crazy world. Now, as a Canadian who's dealing with mostly Americans, what is the biggest difference between spirituality in Canada versus spirituality in the United States? Have you found any?
Well, like most of my friends are from the States. So I would say, well, from Canada to the States, other than the money situation and yeah, oh my gosh, what a difference. There is such a difference. I would say, well, if we're speaking Denver, Denver seems to be a pretty big area where spirituality is accepted.
Yeah.
I mean, it's here where I live, it's here everywhere, but it feels like it's a little bit more in the closet here. I don't know.
All right. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that transitions, right? And I think it's a challenge for Awkwardly Zen folks who are not in Denver because I'm in Denver. A lot of our practitioners are in Denver because this is where we started. So
Yeah.
it does, I know sometimes I have faith that this is the year we're going to get you here. But it is such a fascinating thing to be part of it. And there's been multiple talks of us coming up to see you. So
Right.
hopefully we do that soon as well.
Yeah.
Now, as you think about your journey on your spiritual path, which I know began well before Awkwardly Zen, uh, if you could go up to somebody who was just getting started and you could tell them one or two things that just you wish you would have known, what would that be?
Um, really realize that we're all unique and we do things we that everybody is so different, even though we are learning the same types of information and we are um, like we're just working with the same gifts. Everything is so different from person to person. It is so different. But I would say if there's something missing in your life, and if you just noticed certain things happening, but you're not quite sure what's going on, maybe you want to kind of take a peek at Awkwardly Zen and see if they can help you out. Come to our Zen Zooms, because you know what? We talk about everything there. And
Uh,
we don't push people to speak or to do anything. And a lot of people just come and listen.
yeah.
And I know that's where I started. And I was behind, never putting my camera on, and I was very timid and I would never speak because I just wanted to just listen and find out things. So, but as someone that grew up spiritually here, I would say don't hurry things along. Just do it at your own pace and realize that we all do it differently. We do it differently.
Yeah, and I know because we've had lots of conversations about this, comparison can be so tough, right?
Yeah.
And especially when you are a part of a community and there are people who maybe it comes more naturally to, or I don't even think it's that it comes more naturally. I think some people are more prone to faith in
Yeah.
themselves than other
Right.
people are.
Right.
And I think that comparison can be really difficult. And I know you struggled with that a little bit. How did you help yourself get over that?
Well, I think my struggles kind of started with some religion in my life. And when I came out of that and I was still wanting more, there was still something I was looking for, I realized that it was kind of hard to get my mind around that there were other spirits, there were other guides, there were other things out there rather than just the one God and that type of teaching.
Yeah.
And because I believed and had such strong faith in religion, such strong faith, that it was kind of hard to twist things around. And as you twist things around spiritually, you realize that you have to have faith, like you said, in yourself.
Hmm.
You have to have faith in yourself. And I only had faith in God
Yeah.
before, not in myself. And that's what was missing. That's what was missing, is finding out how important I am to the collective and to to source.
Yeah, what a beautiful, beautiful statement. And it's one of the things we work hard on in Awkwardly Zen is to try to create that safe space for people who have all sorts of different beliefs,
Right.
because we do have a lot of people who are not even necessarily stepping out of religion, but who are just questioning some certain things about it and want to still be able to have that belief in God or in Jesus
Yeah.
or in their belief system, but still explore other things.
Right.
And that's one of the things that I feel like we have grown into, of like, you want to call it God, call it God. I call it
Yeah.
source. Some other people call it universe. Some other people might call it guidance, I think is what our friend
Yeah.
Jill does.
Yeah.
So, and to me, all of those are interchangeable, but I know that that is tough for some people.
Yeah.
So we try to hold space for one another to be wherever we are. But that can be a challenge for sure. Now, as you stepped into these different beliefs, and especially the weird, right?
Yeah.
The awkward,
Yes.
the quirky, as you said, as you stepped into it, what was one of your favorite moments of awareness that this weirdness was really happening?
Well, when I started to feel things, like feel the energy around me and how it would switch from different entities that would come in. Also, to actually sit there and feel something, like to really feel like something was like touching you,
Yeah.
or just the feel that something's there. You could feel the energy just flowing. You can't make that up. You can't make that stuff up. You cannot make that stuff up. And as soon as I got past the little bit of fear that kind of creeped in, then it was just, okay, quit doubting yourself, believe in what you feel, believe in what you now believe. Like, really don't worry about what other people might think, just worry about yourself.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, the doubt started to disappear, and the trust got bigger and bigger. And it's wonderful. It is so wonderful.
Yeah, I found that myself. I was not raised in a specific religion, but I did have this idea that if I didn't kind of play a certain role,
Right.
that
Mhm.
people wouldn't like me, that I would find it harder to be in life. And if anything, it's been the actual opposite. The more I step into finding my own beliefs and my own faith and my own thoughts, and the more that I'm willing to allow those to shift as they need to, the more comfortable I am with myself. Are you finding the same?
Oh, very much the same. And the whole idea of exploring and then being able to, as you explore, shift shift, be ready to, or allow yourself to shift at any minute of it, well, every minute of every day. And getting used to what was great for me was getting used to the unknown, because there's so much in our world that's unknown. That
Yeah.
was exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, for you, because I know you take classes in a lot of different places, which I love, have you found that for the most part, all of those things kind of intermingle pretty well? Or is it kind
Yes.
of shocking sometimes when you're taking a class one place and then you go somewhere else? Is there a shift in there that you've got to energetically kind of adapt to?
Well, from the very beginning, at where I started, there's a shift, a big shift. But lately, the different courses that I've been taking, they've all really kind of intermingled quite well, which is wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Well, especially because you're spending so much time. It's one of the things I appreciate the most about you is that you take your studies very, very seriously, right? And I think that
Take everything way too serious.
well, but not necessarily, because I think that there's something to be said for that. It's one of the reasons why I would wholeheartedly trust you as a practitioner, because I know how much your integrity means to you. And I know how much work you're putting into making sure that you are truly representing the modality in the way that it was intended. And as we know, that doesn't always happen, right? And I'm a perfect example. There are certain things that I won't say. Like, I have trained with Reiki. I am not a Reiki practitioner. I have been attuned. I have all of that, but y'all, I half-assed it. I will fully admit that. So I can do Reiki energy, but it's not something that I have committed to in a way that you have and others have. So has there been anything along the way that you were like, yeah, I'm going to dip my toe in this, and then you're like, nope, this is not my thing?
I don't know. Well, I think mediumship so far. I
Okay.
dipped my toe in and I started to feel things and tried to focus in, but it wasn't coming easily. And there were other things kind of going on. So I just thought, plus it was a little, I was fearful, a little bit fearful. And my parents have passed away. And so I started to think that, oh, I'm not ready to see them. I don't think I still have some healing to do. And yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
And
no,
so
I
I just,
totally get that. I will say mediumship has been a little slow going for me. I absolutely have people who have passed that come through, and sometimes they give beautiful messages in my readings. But there is a level of I don't know, intensity to it that I'm with you. Like I want to make sure that I'm doing it justice, because someone whose loved one has passed away, there's a there's a heart connection there usually that I don't wanna, I wanna make sure that I'm doing my absolute best for. So I am very much like, if it's very clear, then okay, we're gonna go with this. But I'm right there with you on that. And I do think mediumship will be something that keeps coming into my awareness. But again, I don't call myself a medium. And just today, I had a reading and someone said, "Are you a medium?" And I said, "Well, sometimes it comes through, but if you're looking for a medium, I have lots of people I can recommend for you." And I think that's one of the things I love about Awkwardly Zen and the community is we want everyone to succeed.
yes.
And so I love that when I don't do Reiki and someone says, "Oh, I need a Reiki practitioner," I can be like, "Well, if you want angelic Reiki, here's where you're going to go. And if you want crystal Reiki, here's where you want to go." It's one of my favorite things about our community. So speaking of the community,
Mhm.
and speaking of being a volunteer, you are a moderator, which is a pretty like intense role with Awkwardly Zen. We take it pretty seriously. And the moderators, for those of you who have never come, are the people who help keep the conversation going. We keep the room safe. We go over the guidelines. We have to be on awareness, right? Like on tap right there to make sure that we are taking care of everything. What is your favorite thing and what is your least favorite thing about moderating?
I don't think I have a least favorite, really.
Okay,
Um,
I do.
um, I like, well, I, I was gonna say I like talking with the people. I like sharing. I I'm not an aggressive kind of person. Um, I think um I kind of put a lot of compassion, I think, into some of the things that I have to share. And so just being able to share with other people is wonderful. It's kind of exciting to do all the back end things too, just because um, it's like a production. And I've done so many productions in my life that it's just like, okay, be aware, let's get it going, and you just do it. It's just like second nature. But it's also great to be part of the deep,
The
into
conversation.
the deep.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, thank you for that. And you're very good at the back end stuff for sure. And also carrying on the conversation, which I appreciate. I would say my least favorite is when we have people who come in to try to disrupt the room.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, that would
that is very stressful for sure when that happens. But we handle it like pros. We got it down.
just
I love that. Now, we're wrapping up here in a second, but one of the things that you were talking about earlier is the fact that you were not even on camera when you first started coming to Awkwardly Zen and you just listened. And when I think about how you've adapted into this role and taking a lead role in both the scheduling side of things and also the moderating, um, I just want to see if you have anything to share with people who are kind of maybe watching and going, I would love to be more of a part of it. I would love to do that. But we always get people who are like, well, I just don't even know how you do that. And I don't understand. How was that adapting from being behind the, like, just listening to stepping into these roles?
um well, I started by getting, well, after 6 months, I decided to get a membership one of the paid memberships. So that seemed to open up little things, like open up little, like some of the little group type of activities.
It's a cozy group for sure.
It's a cozy group for sure. And then it just seems to, I mean, it's up to you how much you want to participate, how much you want to give. But as soon as you kind of take a step forward, others are right there to, what would you like to do? What do you need? What's your desire? Like, what are you hoping for? And I think that's what kind of got me going, is that everyone was so kind, everyone was so accepting. And then, I don't know, I just started asking questions. That's the biggest thing. And for me, all the time, when it comes to me, I guess the three words I think about when I think of myself is love, clarity, and integrity. Those are my three main words when I think about myself and my spirituality.
Mm. Well, I think you radiate that for sure, Jacqueline. So I'm so grateful for that. And yeah, it's interesting with the paid memberships because they are a smaller group for sure. That there is a coziness in those. And it's fascinating because we have had quite a few people who have stepped into volunteering from that, and then people who step in who have never been a part of any of the membership. So I think I definitely sometimes when I hear people say, well, you know, you handpick people, I laugh and I'm like, "Nuh-uh. I'm just waiting in the wings, waiting for people to come." But it's one of those things that volunteer, and you've seen it now being on the back end. We are all running as fast as we can, and every single person at Awkwardly Zen is a volunteer, including me. And I think that that is one of the things that's been so astounding about this community. We're over 18,000 people in 20 different locations all over the world. And when you look at how this is run, it has always been people like you who have stepped up and said, let me help. Because as I've said many times, and this is very true, I could not do it. No way I could do it on my own. It's too big at this point, and so I'm just so grateful for people like you and the other volunteers that have stepped up over the years. So thank you for that.
Well, thank you for having me. It's been wonderful. And I'm not going anywhere. And beware. No.
Good, good. I'm so glad to hear that. Well, I have to say, I am so grateful for you, Jacqueline, in so many different levels. I have loved watching you step into your gifts. I've loved being able to experience those gifts and readings with you. People can find you on awkwardlyzen.com on the partners page. So go find Jacqueline there. You can also find her on Tuesday mornings with me. We do the Zen Zoom on Tuesday mornings, and you also help on Thursdays. Is that right? And honestly, you guys, she's everywhere. So say hi to Jacqueline when you see her in the rooms. And any last thoughts for you, Jacqueline?
No, I think I've said enough.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being here.